Welcome folks to F3A, the Racecraft Euro Series. We are back live tonight for the first time in 2023 for F3A, and we love this series so much. All the best of the best with 2 rounds in each round, with obviously silver starting off the night and our big gold classic, which will kick off closer to the 9 o'clock mark. But first of all, we do have silver, with drivers scrambling to try and qualify themselves in and become a part of this race tonight. They're out there on the track now. Let's take you down to the action, and shortly I'll be joined by Dave Roberts in the commentary booth. He'll be joining me quite soon, but let's take you straight down to the track at this beautiful new circuit and let's have a look at it as they finish up qualifying. We'll put some times up on the board. Welcome along, Dave Roberts, for the first time in 2023. Here we are again.
We're back. How you doing, Luke?
I'm doing good, man. I'm looking forward to this. It's been missing in my life, F3A.
Well, it hasn't been missing in mine. We've been ages putting this together, but it's we've got a really nice suite of tracks for this season. This opens in what is an absolute ripper little F3 track here at Oshersleben.
Oshersleben, yeah. So it's somewhere I've never really seen too much of, but I've noticed it's undulating, it's twisty, some good fast corners as well. Where will the overtaking spots be on this track?
I don't think there will be. Probably the main one is down the back straight, and you'll find you're really only going to be able to make a pass here if the guy in front makes a mistake. If the guy keeps it straight in front of you, you're going to have to pull a big desperate, and I don't see it happening. Maybe turn 3, the left-hand hairpin, you might pull something off there, but it's more likely the guy in front making mistakes. So this track's going to be all about putting some pressure on.
Plenty of names from last season, mate, and I tell you what, they've stepped it up again with the liveries. The cars look sparkling, they look fantastic as Jeremy Greentree goes for a little excursion. But mate, they're always ready to go, aren't they? These guys have been hanging in the wings, waiting for this moment.
Yeah, and it's great to see so many people back, but it's also fantastic to see so many new people joining us as well. Yeah,
100%, and you know, this will challenge them this first track. I'm sure it's a bit of an unknown for a lot of the drivers, and as you say, not the easiest track to overtake. Will we see two wide action? Will we see some opening round jitters too, where we get a bit of contact? The stewards obviously standing by. We've got Ty Ratcliffe and Rue Koister, obviously the puppeteer with yourself in this series.
And young Lachlan's in there as well, so they've got a full staff in the race control this evening. Yeah, luckily they don't need me because I don't want to be there.
Well, we've got a good crowd building over on YouTube. Share it with your friends. We've got a brand new channel as well, RSTV AU. So please give us a subscribe over there. But g'day, Share. G'day, Trevor, Brent, and we've got Reese O'Gorman Schnackachangi reviews here too. So he's back. We've got to get some of those chips on the way, haven't we? We've been talking about this for a year now. Let's get some of those chippies in the com booth.
By the time they get here, they'll be stale.
And I'm going to put reverb on it, and I'm going to be chewing into the microphone. Crunch, crunch, crunch. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to see this series kick off. And I tell you what, I'm always impressed with the work you guys do put in. When I see your the brief that you send through, all the production, all the incredible signage that you do, and just the things like the booklet that all the drivers get to see with the rules. It is so pro.
Well, it's really important. If you want people to behave like professionals, you got to treat them like professionals. And I think, you know, Rue and I particularly, and Ty and Lachlan, all believe that by producing something really professional and running it in a really professional manner, the drivers tend to behave the same way. You gain that respect. It's the old broken window syndrome, you know.
That's it. Hey, I've got to do a quick couple of hellos too to our Facebook friends, because Spike got us back in. He wants more meow meows this year. Keith Logan's in the house too. Stephen's there, and Christine Cans. Looking forward to seeing Damien race tonight. He's one of many drivers who have thrown out their access to race cameras for us. We'll see a bit of that later. There he is, just getting a quick jump out of the chair now. He'll go and get himself a refreshment, I'm sure, and then get set to go racing shortly.
So when's Spike coming for a bit of fun?
Hey, we got to get that bloke to put his sim back together and get him out here. Maybe we'll just get him in to do meows. I'll sample his voice. He can be my meow simulator.
Bugger his meow. I want to see his laps.
Well, hey, look, 15 minutes gone, 16 minutes in fact. They're letting them finish the lap they're on. That's one thing I do love. Yep. It's not a hard cut, but at the moment it's looking like Adrian Loretti is the top here in the Kittens Racing. Now, Kittens Racing,
that's a new entry.
Is he a fan of kittens, or is there something more behind that?
So that's John Baldwin in car 35's got a pit lane start. because he had an incident where he ran a bit wide and clobbered somebody in the pit exit. So Adrian Loretti, pink and black car, new entrant this season. He's starting off with pole in silver. That's not a bad way to start, is it, Luke?
Not bad. Daniel Byrne will start from seconds too. So look at that's a 1-2 for Kittens Racing. So they've come in and they've just gone smash. Front row, let's take this away from everyone else that's ever been a part of this series. So stepping it in from the get-go, good job. And Jacob Mabry, he's constantly up there, but right on P3 for this kickoff round. Jason Madden will start alongside him. So, mate, 35-minute race coming up, and what's your pick here? Do you reckon these boys at the front will just meow away with it in the Kittens Racing?
I don't know. Look, it's anybody's guess. I'm looking at that and going, I don't really know anyone there who's, I'm going to put money on. There's 10 people you can put money on.
Mate, let's go through it already. And Burns off the front row, Mabry, Madden the second row. Then it's Cairns. Qualifies P5 with Griffiths alongside him, Cooper, Steen, Fay and Shepherd. Rounding out your top 10, Julian George starts from 11th with Greentree. Out of the top 12 tonight as we go further back on the grid, Nins and Quinn, Swanpool and Taylor, your top 16, Johansson. Brettle down in 18th place. And behind him, very mellow, is Che Mello. And then you've got Lucas Burt rounding out that top 20. Johnny Lee, Racecraft Simulations. Big thanks to him getting on board again this season. He's back in their 21st place. Lockie Capel. Is he racing or is he in the Stewards? I thought he was in the Stewards tonight. Dave?
No, he's in the Stewards.
Yeah.
Lachlan's in the Stewards, so that's an Aston Martin on
there's our Aston Martin, okay.
22.
There we go. And John Baldwin, obviously, with the penalty, goes to the back with Fawn. So they will start from the rear field as we grid up here. And I don't know what to expect from this first lap. Like I said, I've never called a race at this place. Loretti's just formed up on the grid now. Rue's giving the final briefing to the drivers. We might listen into a bit of this, Dave, because I love the fact that we do get access to this. Let's have a listen.
All appeals may be made after the race through the appeals and protest sheet in the Discord. So there's no point arguing, just do that afterwards. We do review it on Wednesdays, so make sure you get them in. Saying that, always look at the steward's run sheet at the end of the night just to see if you caught any penalties that you were unaware of. Apart from that, don't forget these tyres take a few laps to warm up, so try not to do anything stupid the first few laps and ruin your race and someone else's. But apart from that, race hard, race fair, and be awesome.
There you go. So Rue Koistra talking us in for the first round here, wishing all the drivers well, and great to have him back. He's very good at his job, isn't he? And you've got to be with this amount of drivers, not just in this one, but then the gold round coming up after.
Yeah, very much so. This is a nice little precursor to the gold round. So let's see what happens. This is all new track, never been here before, lots of new drivers. Hopefully the first corner's a good one. Yeah, the weather's too. It's quite cold out there. 18 degrees ambient, 22 degrees track temp, clear sky. The time is rolling on. It's just past 10:37 a.m. local time here. And that may have an effect slightly on the track conditions. It may warm up a little bit throughout the race. I'm sure the competition will warm up a bit during the race. Now, I wonder how many of the Gold Round guys are watching this one eagerly to see how the cars perform. There hasn't been too many changes. I don't think iRacing has done too much to the setup of these cars in the off-season, so they should feel pretty familiar to most of them. I did find the other day, I did a few laps here, Luke, and I did find that it takes about 2.5 laps to get any temperature in the tyres, so we could see some issues in the first couple. Well, here we go. We're racing, mate. We get away well. Good front start. Someone dropped back. It was Mello who went backwards halfway down the order, but everyone else has got away beautifully as we head down towards turn one. Jacob Mabry disappearing in and out may cause some issues for himself and others, but all in all, pretty good start. Yeah, very good start so far. Let's just this pit lane starter is just coming down the lane, and looks like we've got a clean first corner. What a great start. See Jacob Mabry there weaving side to side, trying to build some tyre temperature on this opening lap, and with 35 minutes to go, he's already just lost a little bit of ground there to Jason Madden, who runs alongside and may sneak just down the inside. He does. So one of the Pace Syndicate drivers, straight up the inside into P3. Good job. Yeah, there we go. We've lost one. One of the... that was Madden. Madden gone round on cold tyres. After that great start, good overtake, he's thrown it off the track, unfortunately. He'll have to build himself back from that. He will drop to the rear field. That's one of the issues with having a first lap spin, is you go right to the back. Yep, but it's not over because we've got the lucky dog, we've got potential safety cars, and there's plenty of incidents to come. So he's not out of the race yet.
Jump on board with Damien Cairns here, the 88 car, and just watch the way he attacks this racetrack as we cross the line to finish the first lap. Nice short lap here, just on 1.5 minutes. I tell you what, you can see, he knows when he's on the camera, this bloke. He gives us the shuckers straight away, like he has all last year. He must have his blaring there in the background. So big g'day to Damien, Christine and the family, and loving the view over the shoulder. He's given us a bit more aspect this year. We can see much more of the sim and the beautiful big Taipan Esports banner there.
Yeah, I'm looking at that steering wheel and thinking, doesn't really belong in an F3 car.
Great to have access. We've got plenty of drivers giving us that access to webcams. We'll go through them as we head through the race tonight. But out in front, he's jumped to an 0.8 of a second gap already. Now, pit stop strategy, where is that going to fall in for the race tonight?
I'm not sure because I'm not fully briefed on that, but I imagine that if we're looking at a 35-minute race, I'm expecting it to probably be about the 20-minute mark, knowing the way Roo works things.
Yeah, I expect the same, and we might see different strategies. We might see some guys that are tucked in behind, like Robbie Griffiths right now. He's in there behind Darren Fay. He might choose to jump out and find an early pit stop, maybe try and get some track position later in the race. I've noticed we've got 3 of the Kittens racing cars now in the top 6, with Darren Fay in front of the Fishy car here. Has jumped 3 spots off the start, so he's really got away well.
Yeah, with that fuel, if we have got 20 minutes of fuel on board, you can actually stop and fill it after 15 laps, and you've got 20 laps to get to the finish, or 20 minutes to get to the finish. So you should see the action start from about 15 minutes into the race. Should be the pit stop action.
Okay, looking forward to that.
Nice move. Really coming under pressure here, Fay is.
Yeah, that was good, and you can just see the way he held onto that. He really had to walk it through the corner. Took a few bites at the turn to get it to swing around.
So we're now on lap 3, and we should be starting to get some grip into the cars. When these cars get grip, they're super quick through this, particularly through this little right, left, right flick onto the back straight. Super quick there, and also the right, left off the end of the back straights. Incredibly quick. You can actually pull it when it's fully gripped up. Nice hot tyres. You can drive that through in 5th gear through there.
Incredible, yeah. So just watching a few of these guys in the mid-pack. Justin Quinn's in a real big battle at the moment. Ahead of him, Jared Steen, Tanked SRT, and Julian George. So this little battle for P9, and they're not too far off the back of Green Tree, but you could just see how close George got to the back of Steen under brakes. He had to make sure he just checked up there and didn't clobber the back. These will rip a wing off pretty easily, won't they?
They sure do. I'm just looking at that tanked livery, Luke. Gee, that's striking for this season again, isn't it? Look at that.
They always rip out a good livery, these guys. Incredible.
Yeah. So they're hanging on to that really tight on the inside in turn 1, because you get out a bit wide, sometimes it's a bit hard to get it back. This is where I said turn 3, here they're in now, this is where I was saying that you might see a little bit of possible overtaking there, and if somebody runs a bit wide on this next triple left-hander, which is a really big turn, you might find a little bit of a dive there as well at the end.
Okay, let's ride on board and just have a quick look behind. On board with Jared Steen, currently running 9th place, started 8th place, so dropped that 1 position, and he's just trying to hang on here. You can see the way the cars dance through there, and in fact in the background, Justin Quinn, the Mark 1 Esports car, was completely sideways, 4-wheel drift through that corner. I like the fact they can do that. They can drift the cars and hang on to it. Some of these iRacing cars will let go and you can't get it back.
No, but second place Daniel Burns just gone round on the second last corner, so he was really putting pressure on the first kitten, and the second kitten's lost it.
Okay, we'll see if we can grab a replay of Burns' incident here. Here it is, and he's gone around. So he was putting the pressure on, like you said. No other cars involved, David. He just got a swapper on.
Run a bit wide, onto the dirt, and around he goes.
So just that little bit of grass unsettled the car.
Yep.
Go back live here. So he's dropped all the way down to 17th. So he's going to have to rebuild. And what do you do as a mental state in this situation where you've just lost, 16 positions? How do you rebuild yourself to go, right, I've still got 30 minutes to go in the race, half an hour. How do I rebuild?
You just got to try and stop that red mist, keep it cool and calm, and focus. That's it, just focus. Forget everyone else, drive your race, drive every lap as fast as you can, and then if you do, you'll get as far up as you can go. What more can you do?
That brings Damien Cairns now as well up into P3, so pretty happy with that. He's got 2 positions gained already in the race. And we've got another spinner. Lockie Taylor's just gone around as well, I think. Lockie Taylor's just dropped to 14th with a spin in the Tim Tam car.
Yep.
Tim Tam and Vegemites.
The Vegemite Tim Tams. Oh my God.
I tell you what we should do, Dave. Sometime throughout this series, we should go on a webcam and we should put Vegemite all over a Tim Tam, and we've got to eat it and keep a straight face.
I don't touch Vegemite. Never have. Never will.
I don't know. I don't mind a Vegemite Sayo, but I couldn't have it on Tim Tam.
Now I see Ty Swain-Paul's gone off there. He's run out onto the grass. He's dropped a few places as well. These guys are finding this is a tough track. It's a tough challenge around here because there's no rest. There's no big long straight where you go, oh, I can take a back off for a minute. It is full on 100% of the lap. Well, nice little move up the inside there, Julian George. Well done.
That was nice. He just sent it, and you could just see that Jared had just offset himself a little bit, was out on the marbles, and that slowed him up, and Julian didn't need a second invitation, did he?
No, you miss one apex and it's over.
I love the little touch. Look at that, thinkredrecruiting.com.au. Just little things like that on the rear wing of this car. They go all out with their sponsorships, and I love that. This is one of the beauties of sim racing. You can really create your own car, your own livery, and your own sponsors. It's fantastic.
I see Jared Steen there running wide again onto the back straight, so the guys and he's lost another spot as a result. So that's what I was saying. It's a little tiny mistake, and it's your part. The guy behind you is gone.
Yeah, we might even jump on with Gavin Nins, the Sandgroper sim racing car here, because he's probably thinking, right, I've just seen Steenie lose a couple of spots. I might try and take him as well.
Yeah, and I think the viewers will love to ride a lap in this. You'll find how full on this circuit is.
Yeah, well, let's put some telemetry up there so you can just see the speeds we're achieving. 4th gear, 160 clicks as we wind ourselves back around, back down to 100, 2nd gear now. And
so through that hairpin, we're going as fast as most people do on the freeway.
That's right, yeah. Someone wide just in front there watching that car. It might be John Lee just seeing the Racecraft car, I think. Just get out of the way of the cars going through. But yeah,
this is the triple left-hander here, where it's almost flat triple left-hander and into a big right-hand U-turn.
Wow. So that's got to really load up the right-hand side of the car, and then you're asking a lot of the left as you switch back.
And then you've got this nasty little right, left, left onto the back straight, easy to run wide onto the grass and have a moment. And you've got a good run down here, and the 2 turns off this are incredibly quick.
Very nice. Cher says, I've been told that Vegemite's great for you hiding your grey hairs. What does that mean? You've got to spray it all over your hair? That's not fun.
I don't hide mine, they're all over my head.
Right, let's go to the front here. As I was just about to say, Loretti's been knocking off the fastest laps of the race, but we've just seen our first 1 minute 16.83 for Jacob Mabry, P2. So he's just turned a little bit of speed up as well at this lap 8 of, what is a 35-minute race.
Yeah, so Loretti's sitting out there in front, and he's doing a really nice job. He hasn't put a foot wrong so far, but it's not easy. He's still getting pressure because Mabry and Cairns are not far away. And Damien Cairns has really come up through the field here to stick it in 3rd place. He got a bit of pressure on Mabry. Could he be a chance?
Could be. He's probably really, thinking, okay, I've got a podium here, don't throw it away. He can see Brian Cooper's currently 2.3 behind. Green Tree's gone off the circuit. We're seeing a few of these little moments now. We saw another one a minute ago as I think it was Justin Quinn went off as well, but now Green Tree finds the grass. Is this just, first race back jitters?
I think it's first race back, but I also think it's the nature of this circuit. It is, as I said to you, it's a full-on circuit. There's no rest. You've got to go. It's bang, bang, apex, 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 apex. And if you miss one, you're off the road. And I think that's what's happening. The track itself is putting a lot of pressure on the drivers. One
of your liveries there, mate, for Mark Bredor. Is good to see them still floating around. You did a bunch of these liveries, didn't you? All different colours. They look fantastic.
Actually, Rue did them, but they do look great.
Oh, you could have taken credit. I thought you did them. There you go.
No.
Very, very nice. So, yeah, with there's a few of those out there. And I think Mark's a new driver to this series. And you can just see him in the 46 there. It's a very, very famous number, that one. Why would that be?
Wouldn't be Valentino Rossi, would it? I wonder if he had a big queue in pit lane all weekend.
Mate, what a draw card for this year's 12 hour. It was huge.
It was fabulous, wasn't it? Yeah, really, really good to see. And he was very complimentary and absolutely loved the circuit. And I think he really enjoyed his weekend, which is great to see.
Impressive too. One thing, I don't want to talk out of shop for too long here about a different series, but to see so many international drivers as we see a crash.
Race control, can you check that,
Lucas
please?
Burt's just gone around.
Car 50.
I'll come back to what I was speaking about, but Lucas
And can I
Burt
tow?
is straight away requesting a tow, and it's Justin Quinn. They've got together down there, so
Copy 50.
he was straight onto the radio too, not happy. And we got a safety car. First
Wow,
safety
we got a
car
safety
of the
car.
series.
There we go. First safety car of 2023. Now let's hope Lachlan can keep it pointed the right way and we'll be good.
First of many, no doubt. Let's have a quick look at the replay. We'll kick it off with...
It's a beautiful looking livery.
It is, yeah. We'll see what happened with Justin Quinn first of all. Here's your replay.
85, what are you doing, mate? Check up, guys. This rig.
So, down the inside, and
Make contact?
just contact on the exit. Yeah, right there.
Oh, yes.
He just drifted out a little bit and put them both in the wall, and that's why
That was a bit of a mistake by me there.
that's why Burt was so furious at that. He got straight on race control channel and said,
Yep.
"Look it up." And unfortunately, it must have killed the engine in the car because he's had to tow straight away.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
So pit lane open. We've got a stack of cars in the lane. The leader has stayed out.
It's interesting the leader stayed out.
So I'm just trying to see the first driver that did pit. It is Darren Fayer for Kittens Racing. So his teammates leading the race. He's the leader of the pit stop drivers in 11th outright. So that's interesting.
Well, the team's covering the bases, aren't they? They've taken a bet each way.
Sure says, hooray for the safety car. Well, we knew we'd get one eventually. I think, this is pretty exciting to see these guys smash this out for 35 minutes, but they're going to have to do it in gold for 50 minutes. And to me, that is a huge challenge. We know generally they're a step up of driver. They're guys that have earned their way into the gold series, but to do it for 50 minutes, I'm already thinking we might get a couple of these yellow flag sessions in the gold race too.
I'm thinking we'll see a couple of safety car periods in the gold as well, Luke. I couldn't imagine that you're going to go through an hour basically of racing around this place without some incident.
Mate, and Lockie Capel, that beautiful looking safety car out there again for FRG, it absolutely looks great, and credit to the series and you guys, that's one of my favourite safety cars.
Well, that one is my livery.
Yeah, beautiful job. Hey, well, we got a second here and we got a chance just to cool down a little bit. Let's talk about sponsors this year, because once again we got VRS on board. Code word again tonight, so all you got to do is click the link in the description of the video and you'll find the code word tonight is AUTOBAHN. So if you put that in there, you can enter every week, and at the end of this series there will be a $100 or $99 package from VRS going to a lucky viewer, which is good. Tell us a little bit about Lovely Stickers, another sponsor that's come on board as well, Dave.
Well, just before I do, I'll tell you also the leaders just dived into pit lane at the end of the first safety car lap. So
yeah, under
that's
yellow.
Interesting. Now, Lovely Stickers, they do sticker packs for your seats, your wheel, your wheelbase, some fantastic stuff, all sorts of different brands, whether you've got a Fanatic or a SimCube or whatever, it doesn't matter. They've got loads of stuff, lots of different liveries available, beautiful sticker packs, and I believe we have a code word which is F3A Lovely, which will give you a 10% discount. So
Up on your
those
screen.
guys are back from last season, so they're back again. That's awesome to hear. On top of that, we've also got Shots Emporium. So Shots Emporium are joining us with a little bit of backing, and I think Rue may have some surprising news from that a little later on. And as well as that, we've also got Racecraft, of course, involved in the series, and they've been great backers. And it's the Racecraft Euro series. And if you're looking for a rig and a seat, and go to those guys. They're awesome, and they'll deliver it anywhere in Australia for you.
Yeah, let's do what I like doing is going to their website quickly whilst we're chatting about this, and we'll have a quick look. Here it is. This is Racecraft's website live. You can see they do have a cool sim center, and you can go and check that out if you're over in the west. Otherwise, like you've just said, Dave, you can get one of the beautiful rigs. Let me go to the shop here and check it out. Some of these rigs are incredible. The DIY where you can put it together yourself. You basically order the package and check out that. That is incredible.
Yeah, I'll be back in, Luke.
No worries, mate. Righto, so safety car coming in now, and we are back to green flag racing. So it's Damien Cairns that leads us away. After not pitting, he is leading ahead of George, Steen, Nins and Matt in your top 5. The top 8 are yet to stop in this race. So Cairns leads us away, has a good little jump off the start there, and George just falling back slightly. The biggest mover and shaker tonight, Mark Brettle, up 11 spots into 7th now. That will change after the pit stop phase, but yeah, some good gains being made along the way there. Swamppool up 9, Gavin Nins up into 5th now. He's up 8 positions, and the top driver that has stopped is this man, Darren Fay, back in 8th place. So his teammate, by stopping under caution there, did lose out, and Adrian Loretti's down in 19th place. There he is with a lot of overtaking to do. So he's actually come out about 10 back in the queue of drivers that have stopped for fuel.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I think he missed that first opportunity to stop. Now Darren Fay's taken it. It's interesting to see the difference of what taking the stop on the first lap versus the second lap. Look at the difference it makes. Huge. So we'll see if we can see if Loretti can get himself back up through. It's a good challenge for him.
I mean, he had the
and
speed.
Should be fun to watch.
Yeah, he had the speed to start with, but now we're going to see his racecraft, and no pun intended, racecraft is what this series is about. Can he get through the field?
Well, he's about to find out. He's got a racecraft car right in front of him.
Let's watch it. Let's stay on board here. Let's go to visor cam and jump right in the seat here with Adrian Loretti, and let's stay on board for a lap here. Hopefully we keep it on the green, on the grey stuff. We'll stay with him.
The right in front of him, there's Andrew Lachlan in the racecraft car. And then I'm looking in front of them, Stephen Fawns. He's another newcomer to the series. He's had a battle this week with trying to get his internet connection up to speed to be able to compete. And it was great to see not just the series organisers, but also the other competitors. Everyone jumped in to really give the guy some help. In the end, it's turned out to be a bit of an ISP issue, I believe.
Right.
But it's great to see the camaraderie between the teams. As much as they're competing out here and fighting wheel to wheel, you know, when somebody had a problem, everybody's in to help. It was really great to see.
Well, late on the brakes, that almost caught him out, didn't it? He was so late, Adrian had to flinch. And now he's just unsettled himself as well. And in the mirror, you could see another car going off on the grass.
Monkey see, monkey do.
So, bit of target fixation there, and he got out of shape. Lockie Taylor's gone around in the Tim Tam car again, so he's just stuck it in the fence coming onto the pit straight. So that's cost him dearly. And a 10-second penalty to add that to Justin Quinn for causing that incident on lap 9.
Oh dear, that's a pity.
And that one's quickly dealt with by the stewards. I like that they can make those decisions nicely and send it out within a couple of laps. So good adjudicating there as we watch Jacob Mabry. He has stopped. It's Mello behind that fell back off the start, is yet to stop. But everyone in this little group of cars now from 8th place back right to the back of the field have had their first pit stop. And it's just that top 7 that, well, what are they waiting for now? Maybe another safety car? Or do you think they've missed their mark?
I think they're hoping for another safety car. I'm looking at that Che Mello. Che's another newcomer to the series. Started off 19th on the grid there, Luke, and he's up to 12th, so that's a good little run.
Che Mello was slow off the start, I think. It was slow to get away from the line from memory, but he's fought his way back, so nice job. G'day, Eddie Metz. Nice to have Eddie in the house. But yeah, he's got a lovely livery on that car as well.
I think Eddie should be on track, not in the house.
Yeah, we need Eddie out here for sure.
So, looking there, Loretti's still chasing Lachlan, is it? Or is it...
No, Loretti's behind Mello at the moment, so we're just watching this battle.
Up on Che Mello now.
Yeah, we'll jump on board. Oh, and Mello went...
wide, and then through on the inside. See, get out on the
3-4. You just lost 4 positions then, Dave. 4 positions in one corner with that mistake.
Yep. Bit of brake lock up there by somebody. There's a little cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
So who's next in his sights? Car number 3, which is Stephen Fawns.
So we'll go forward to Fawns. There he is in one of the FRG F3A liveries. Call that one the Bumblebee, or it's looking very good.
Yes, you got Fawns, Bent Johansson, and Jeremy Greentree. And I think Bent and Jeremy are returnees, which is great to see them come back. Always good to see people come back. It means they enjoyed what they did last season.
Yeah, I think Greentree and Johansson have been there from basically the get-go. I mean, I've seen them here for so many series now, and obviously the Mark 1 Esports, it's a strong team, and good to see them sporting some drivers again. Onto the main straight, he comes with Ben Johansson in tow. And then you can see back to Fawns, then Loretti in the pink car, not too far back. That pit stop's really, really hurt his race. Then you got Griffiths, Baldwin, Andrew Laughlin's down in 19th, and Mello rounds out the top 20 at this stage. Fastest driver on the racetrack, Jason Madden, P3, has just pushed out a 1 minute 16.7. Yeah, 1:16.7 for the Pace Syndicate driver. That is some decent pace, as Mark Bredel has stuck it in the wall.
Oh dear. And Damien Cairns setting a nice little rhythm on out front, holding a bit of a gap, but he's still under pressure, but looking good out front. But what about the pit stop?
Yep. We're now 22 minutes in, so 12 minutes to go, roughly.
So is Darren Fay still the leading car on the road that's made a pit stop, Luke?
That's correct, yeah. Fay, and then Cooper, and then Byrne are your top 3. So 2 of the 3 leading that have made pit stops, all Kittens Racing. So their lead driver, who's way back, will be thinking, oh man, this is not good.
They just got to get him into gold, haven't they?
That's right. Now tell us about that, the auto progress into gold. That happens again this year?
Yeah, so again this year, if you finish first, second or third on the road in silver, next week you are automatically in the gold field. So then there's 37 cars qualify, 37 cars qualify for gold, and 3 freebies for the guys who won silver the week before. And what it does, it stops somebody sort of being able to just go slow and win the race in silver, and each week do a slow qualifying and get into silver. It forces people to go into gold. If you get a win, you move up.
Yeah, I like that. Beautiful looking car, this one for Ty Swanpool. It's some would say plain, but you zoom in on it and it's just perfect. And you're someone who's got that real perfect eye, Dave, for this sort of artistic flair. What do you think of this livery?
Well, see, I'm a bit of a traditionalist, so I like cars that look like real race cars, and I love the retro scheme. So to me, the simple scheme is actually always really, really good. I find a problem in my head with the V8 supercars of today. Yeah. They've got so many stickers over them, and I look at them and I just go, I can't tell one from the other, and I can't tell a Holden from a Ford. They all look the bloody same, and it's the older liveries. You look at a Gulf McLaren, you know it's a Gulf McLaren, you know exactly what it is. So I'm a big believer in simple liveries. They look great.
Maybe that's what it is. It draws my eye to this car. It's just, there's something about it, very 80-ish, 80s and 90s, looks great.
Seeing some people run wide, putting wheels on the dirt. The big battle back around the... What's that? Swanpole, Nins, Fay, Cooper, Byrne, in a bit of a train there at the moment, Luke. They're all over each other.
Yeah, I was just watching that as Jared Steen dropped down the order. He's just dropped right out of contention now with a bit of a spin. So it took him a while to regather that as well. But as you said, let's go watch this Swanpool battle. So P4 being challenged by 5th.
Yeah, you got the 3 guys out in the lead, and then there's about a 6-second gap back to Swanpool, and then that's where this battle is. It's 5 cars all over each other. And the key car there being the black and pink kitten car of Darren Fay, who's already made his pit stop.
That is true, yeah. So Ty in 4th, Fay, there he is on your screen in the pink and black car. He's looking pretty for a race win here if he can just keep this up. I'm looking at the actual distance between himself and Loretti. It's just on 8 seconds on the racetrack is the difference between the man that was leading the race prior to the pit stops and the guy that's leading the pit stopped cars, if that makes sense.
So has Brian Cooper there in 7th place, or has he made a pit stop or not, Luke?
7th place, Cooper has, yes, he has stopped on lap 9.
Okay. So I'm saying that 3 or 4 cars at the back of this group are obviously already pit stopped. So they're the guys who are the sort of leaders of the race in real terms at the moment. And they're fighting for the podium, the 3 of them.
Yep.
4 of them.
Yeah, it's looking good for them, isn't it? And
So you got Bay, Cooper, Byrne and Maybury, really they're battling for the podium, aren't they?
yeah, and Wayne Shepherd, he's just staying there. You know, he's ready to pick up the pieces if there is some sort of incident in the monster car. So don't discount him. Just watch him lurking in the background there as we just see Swampool, as I've just said, that in the pit lane. So Swampool's in, Jason Madden's in as well.
Let's see how... They must be running low on fuel because they wouldn't do it otherwise. So we're at lap 20. We're 30 minutes in. So that's got to be the end of the fuel. So let's see how far up Loretti moves as a result of the pit stops.
Yeah.
And we've got to see Cairns, George and Nins head for the pits soon. There's Greentree off the road again.
Greentree's off, and by the way, Damien Cairns just did a new fastest lap of the race in clear air, so he's out there pushing a hole himself, and he's done a 1:16.6. So he'd be ruining the fact that he's didn't take that stop, because he's probably got the speed to win this race. But I'm gonna unfortunately say when he does stop under green conditions, he's only got a 9-second lead at the moment over the next driver that has already stopped, so that's going to be gone.
And I think that lap time's probably a little bit related to the fact that he'd be running on fumes at the moment. Car would be super light, nice hot tyres and super light, and he's gone round again.
He has, yep.
Did he save enough time? Did he save enough fuel under yellows to get himself to the finish?
Now that would be a twist. One would think at that sort of lap speed he's not saving much fuel right now. Let's have a look at the lap times over the last few laps. He's done a 16.7, then a 17.4, then he's rattled off 3 16s in a row. So, and all the while pulling a gap 0.2 of a second over Julian George in P2 whilst he's doing that. So definitely not fuel saving.
Well, you never know. He may have saved some fuel under the safety car by clutching the car and running it around on idle. Yeah, it's interesting. So they've got, what have we got, 35 minutes? We've got 3 minutes to go. That's like a couple of laps, Luke.
Well, we've got 7 minutes to go, so 6.5 to go. Yep,
Okay.
So we're still going to probably squeeze in another 4 or so laps in this race. 4 or 5 laps,
I
we'll
can't
see.
see him making it.
It'll be
I can't
tight.
see him making it.
It'll be tight. So let's run through the biggest movers in this field. Stephen Fawns, you've spoken about him already, back in 9th place. He's made up 15 spots, and John Baldwin's made up 11. Remember, John Baldwin did start with that penalty, didn't he, right at the start, as the leader does come into the pits now, and Julian George follows him in. So the top 2 in the pits. But Baldwin, after getting a slap on the wrist in qualifying, now up into 12th. Good drive.
Yep.
Oh, big crash.
Race control car 9, lap 21.
And
Taylor and Greentree, mate, just to jump in there, have both gone off the track there.
Race control, I'm not sure.
See if we can have a quick look at that one. We're going to stay green, hopefully. I think both cars got up and running again.
Thanks.
Here's a replay for you.
awesome.
So he was going for an overtake down the inside. Oh, and the Mark 1 car turned in.
That was a big dive. Bit of a dive bomb there.
Yeah, so we'll see how the stewards adjudicate that one. Will probably be after the race.
I think you'll see the Lockie Taylor cop a little bit of a penalty for that one, I would think.
Yep. All right, back with the leader with just under 5 minutes to go now. It's Darren Fay for Kittens Racing out in front by 0.3 of a second. We've got the top 3 cars within 0.6 now, so it's going to come down to the wire with obviously time certain race. We may have to do the extra lap too. It always makes me nervous when you've got to do an extra lap if you're tight on fuel, but they'll have those calculations running in the car, and they'll know probably the prediction of laps and how many they're going to go through to complete the 35 minutes.
And it's really tight between these top 3, isn't it? 4.
Four, yeah, because Mabry's on the case, isn't he? He's within a second now, so Mabry will just need a couple of good laps here, a couple of good toes. He'll find himself challenging. You know, Darren Fay's got all the pressure on his shoulders with 3 quick drivers breathing down his neck.
And I think Mabry's not being silly. He's sitting back, but he's sitting not right on the tail of the 3. Little bit of room there. Something goes wrong, he's leaving himself room to take advantage, rather than get involved in it, you know?
A couple of comments from Daniel Yeaman saying, going to be very hard to save meaningful amounts of fuel in these cars. They barely burn more than 1 litre per lap flat out.
Yep, he's right. They don't. The other day, I was only burning 1 litre or so a lap.
Did you see the attitude of Fay's car there? He's really pushing.
Yeah, he is.
And he's pulled the gap out to nearly 6 tenths, so he's just pulled a couple of tenths out alone in that first couple of sectors. So he's turned it on here. He's probably got enough fuel to the end, and he thinks, right, I've got to break this toe. I've got to try and get away.
He's just got to stay online and not make any mistakes, because if he stays online and makes no mistakes, there's no going by.
That's Daniel Byrne, P3. He's got some pressure from Mabry. Wayne Shepherd's probably too far back now to challenge the top 4. And Adrian Loretti has sort of wiggled his way back into P6. So the man that led the majority of the first part of this race has got himself back in at least to the top 6.
But see, he's new to the series, and you know, you have to learn the way that things work, and he'll take away from this an understanding that I need to be in the pits, I need to get my pit stop done early, and he'll learn from this experience, and I think you'll see Loretti back in there. I'm going to put him on the podium for next week.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if it wasn't for that strategy, he probably would have walked away with this one. He looked so good at the start.
Yep, and it's just, that's part of the whole learning exercise. You know, a lot of these guys, like you said before, with a couple of the guys have been with us for season after season after season. They sort of know the way the thing works, and they understand the strategies of the race with the short fuel. And that's something you got to, when you step into this series, you got to learn. So Loretti has certainly done himself, you know, put up a really good showing. Been a great drive. He just got a one mistake. Oh,
the lead is off the track.
Onto the straight. He's lost the lead. That's going to put Cooper into the lead.
Wow,
That's
Cooper.
What I was saying about, you got to stay online.
Yeah, Cooper's been gifted that one, and
Now
Fay will be
Mabry's
kicking
having
himself.
a look as well back there. Mabry's up the inside. Yes, Mabry's through into 3rd.
So it's all changing. Byrne's gone off the track in back play as well, so he's dropped right off the order. Mabry sweeps across the nose of Daniel Byrne there.
I feel for Darren Fay there. He was doing a beautiful job, and it's a little mistake, you know, but it can happen again, and it could happen to Brian Cooper.
We're halfway through the lap. We've got a minute to go here. I think we're going to have to do an extra lap.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
For fuel,
Another
yeah.
lap.
Definitely.
Especially if you've got, if in your mind you've got it set that this is the last lap and you come around and you've got to do another one. Or Fay out of control again there, really stepping sideways.
Are his tyres gone, do you think? What's going on here at this
I
late
think
stage of the race?
If he was driving it, you know, you said earlier, he's really driving a hard look at the attitude of the car.
Yeah.
He may have put a little bit too much temperature into the back tyres. He's run wide again there. I think you might find he's just overheated the tyres a bit with driving it a bit too hard.
Yeah, Jacob's been around a bit too. He'll know what to do here. We'll get one more lap. White flag drops with just 30 seconds to go in the race.
Last lap.
And yeah, he's going to have to really hold on here. It's a 1.5 second lead to Cooper now, and here goes Mabry with a shot, looks to the outside.
He made that move on Byrne last lap and he pulled it off, but this one, Fay was a little bit wiser to it and just shut down that move.
Yeah, decent racing too. Griffiths just goes ahead of Cairns. Cairns out of the pits, trying to fight back. He'll get himself a top 10, which is pretty decent. He'll be also reviewing that strategy and thinking, I could have done things differently.
Mabry right on the edge there, and look at Cooper's actually jumped away. He's
gone.
Jumped away. So now the pressure's on Fay trying to hold on to second rather than actually fight back for the lead. And this is where he was really loose last time through here. He's better that time. He's still wide. So now into this last chance is this right left down here.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh, he's wide again. He's wide again.
Look at
And
the,
through
oh, he's off.
There
He's
he
gone.
goes. He's overheated the rear tyres and he's lost the whole lot. What a pity.
Checker flag's going to drop here, and it's going to be a win for the first race of the series to Brian Cooper in the 344. He takes the checker flag. Jacob Mabry will come home P2, and then it will be Daniel Byrne third in the race for Kittens Racing. Well, one of the three got themselves on the podium, but two of the favourites there, Loretti and also Feo, who led a heap of laps there in the race, finish off the podium in this first race. But great job, Brian Cooper. I mean, he kept the pressure on, and he's come home with a win.
That was a really nice drive from Brian. Once he got by, he just put his head down, concentrated and drove away, put a good gap, took himself out, took the pressure off himself. Mabry, nice little... Yeah, I said he's sitting back there in fourth, looking for that opportunity, and he got it.
And all the other drivers.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, we're going to go and we'll have some quick interviews, hopefully, while I load up the new server. And as soon as iRacing gives me some results, we'll flick them up on the screen. But that was your first race of a brand new series here for F3A, the Racecraft Euro Series. And I tell you what, someone's celebrating in the background. It's not the race winner, but someone's ripping a huge skid over in the background there. It's Jacob Mabry. He's wrapped with that P2. He's wrapped.
It's great to see someone so excited about getting a P2, isn't it?
Always, always. Righto, mate. We'll just see if we can get. I'll get you to organise a couple of interviews happening here, and I'll get these race results up on your screen now. Big thanks to iRacing. So here it is, folks. Hopefully they'll pop up for me in a sec. Here it is. So confirmed from iRacing, a 1.7 second win there to Brian Cooper over Jacob Mabry. Daniel Byrne took out third, and then it was Adrian Loretti, Conome in fourth. Recovered well in the end to get some points. Darren Fay fifth, and then it's Shepard, Johansson, Baldwin, Griffiths, and Damien Cairns who led the majority of that race. Skipped back into P10 to finish it out as we see the rest of the order and your favourite drivers rounding out the top. There's 24 or 25 drivers out there tonight for this first of many rounds in the Silver Series for F3A. We'll see if we've got some drivers for a quick chat. We've got Jacob Mabry standing by, so let's grab him straight in. Jacob, well done tonight, mate. You've taken out P2. Congratulations, Jacob. Great drive.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I wasn't sure about going into the pits or not during that race. It was a bit of a good call because I think my tyres would have been cooked otherwise. But yeah, made my way through the field. That was fun.
And mate, you saw a few people get loose, and you know you got past them towards the end of the race there. How were your tyres feeling in the last couple of laps?
Nah, they were pretty good. I'm happy I took them when I pitted. Got a brand new set, but yeah, the fronts took a bit to warm up on this track, and especially around the triple left-hander. That was pretty hairy at the start of the race.
Yeah, well, great drive, mate. Our winner's just coming now. Brian Cooper, congratulations, mate. You were in it from the get-go, and you hung out there to take a fantastic win and just show you had huge pace at the end as well. You could pull away for those last couple of laps.
Yeah, thanks, boys. It was a bit touch and go there. Just as before the safety car was called, I had a bit of a glitch on my VR, which gave me a bit of a spun out facing the wrong direction, and lost a few positions under that safety car. But yeah, the pit straight into the pits for the fast repair, and that ultimately pulled me into second after all the other boys stopped. So in a good position to bring the tanked F3 home.
Yeah, great drive.
Brian, quick question. Did you take tyres?
No tyres, just fuel. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I potentially would have taken tyres on gold, but yeah, I think the tyres, I didn't notice any massive, yeah, they're a little bit sketchy at the end, but not like previous rounds and stuff where we've done millions of laps around the Rovals and stuff. So
yeah, because we saw Dylan Fay's tyres obviously getting a bit hot there to the end. The car got very loose where, you know, when you were putting him under pressure there at the end.
Yeah, I thought if you just try and stick as close to him as possible, and obviously when you're under pressure and you've got someone that's 0.3 behind you, you tend to drive a little bit in your mirror and overdrive, and yeah, I was doing that. I'm not sure who it was at the time that was behind me in third, or would have been third, putting a bit of pressure on me, and they ended up dropping back a little bit, which sort of gave me a bit of a chance to concentrate on moving forward rather than back. So yeah.
Well done. Great start to 2023.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done, Brian. Who would you like to thank, mate? A chance to thank some of your sponsors or just friends, that sort of thing. Give them a quick shout.
Yeah, the BA Crocs tank team. We're tank 2. We've got 2 teams this season. So yeah, all the boys and jumping on board, and yeah, good luck to everyone.
Fantastic. P2 tonight, Jacob. Who would you like to thank, man?
All the TGD boys, the Cave NZ, Wolf and Raven Arts, ST Automotive, Rattler Motorsports, and Tech Mall. Cheers, boys.
Fantastic. Righto. Well, there's your top two. And great racing in that first race, David. I'm just loading now into the new server for the gold, and we'll kick that off shortly with a 50-minute race. But, mate, if that's like the warm-up, the entree, I can't wait for the main course tonight.
I'm already there and it's looking wild.
Very good, because we do have a big field, isn't it? What is it, 40 cars again?
Yeah, 40 cars.
Right, mate. Well, let's run an ad. We'll have a quick break. We'll be back within about 2 or 3 minutes. So round one of the Racecraft Euro Series here, thanks to F3A, powered by FRG. And we are back now for the gold round, the big main game. We have over 40 cars on the racetrack, just finishing their open qualifying session now. And I can't wait just to go through the list of names out there and see who we've got back from last season. So McFarlane at the moment, Corey, on top with a 15. Benjamin Roberts has just pipped that time with a 1:15.9. Let's head down to the track now and pick up the machine called entry. And good to see Benny back. We'll get rid of the music. McFarlane second. Leonard's just gone up into third for Simrigs. Sorry, that was Leonard for Racecraft. Dylan O'Shea for Simrigs has just gone up into third now. Then it's Bailey Evans. Kobe Williams is there. Magetz has gone up into sixth as Josh Banks, Macedo and Bowden. Rob Bowden, good to see him back. He's currently sitting in that top 10 position. So final part of qualifying underway, about 6.5 to go. Let's flick it into qualifying mode. We'll see some sectors down the bottom and see who's turning up the heat towards the end of this qualifying session. And let's crank up the noise for a little bit and enjoy some F3 cars while I grab myself a quick drink and prepare for 50 more minutes of racing. Couple of shout outs. Hello, Jokin, he's back in the house. Welcome back to 2023. Not sure where you've been, mate. You've been walkabout. We haven't seen you for ages. Daniel Yeaman's here, of course. Sure, saying Baldwin has done well. Also, he did do great in that last race. So welcome everyone that's tuning in over on YouTube. Don't forget to give a subscription to our brand new YouTube channel, RSTVAU. Please jump on that subscribe button. And a big thanks to everyone tuning in. Stephen Cassidas is in the house. Tank Desartis says congratulations, Brian. Great drive, did do a great job. And everyone else that's tuning in, keep the comments flowing through. I'll try and keep all over that for race 2. I think we're going to have our hands full over the next hour or so, because they generally, well, the action should be furious. It was in silver, but gold usually steps up a notch. I want to go and have a look too and see what sort of webcam action we've got going on. So I'm just going to flick over to, first of all, Drop Bear Motorsport. I know Daniel Yeaman's in the house, and we can look at his lovely face, of course, but also his train set in the background, or his brother's train set. Is always a highlight to me. Daniel hasn't set a lap time yet, so let's just stay with him now. He's a little bit out of focus there, Daniel, and there he is. So on your screen, Daniel Yeaman crosses the line, and where does he end up with that one? He has not set a lap yet. In fact, this is his first flying lap in the Drop Bear Motorsport entry, so leaving it to the last minute. Look at the concentration. He is set and focused in, and 2 cars spinning in the background there. You can just see him checking his mirrors. In fact, there were 3 cars splayed all over the racetrack as he goes through. So good to see Daniel back for another series here, amongst all his qualifying duties and everything else that he does. He is a busy man. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Will Ryan, I think, is also giving us access to his camera, which is good to see. We'll try and catch up with Will shortly. And where is he? Is he set a lap time yet? I'm just having a quick look down the order. And for someone who's got 4 screens here, I always say I think I need another one. And Will Ryan is 20th. I couldn't see him for a moment there, but there he is. So Will Ryan in another one of these beautifully turned out Pace Syndicate cars. And shout out to Miles Bond if he's out there somewhere in the stratosphere watching. Love this team and a great bunch of competitors. Look at him turn in there and completely focused and getting some good lap speed out of the car. P20 at the moment. We'll try and step it up just a little bit more towards this end of this qualifying session, no doubt. Who else have we got there? We've got the Area 51 Sim Sports team. They've given us a stack of drivers who have given us access to their cameras, so we'll run through a few of them. We've got Betrell has once again given us access. He's P17 at the moment, and he's all focused and doing his best. Got the can of Coke there. You need that. Can of Coke for racing is always a must. And Dave, welcome back. I did see you jump over to the stewards room for a little bit. What was the feedback you got from race 1?
Yeah, very quiet. They said they were quite cool, calm, collected, and under control, and Roo wasn't yelling.
I don't think Roo ever yells. I've never heard Roo yell.
They were all very cool, calm, collected. They said the opening race was quite calm, not too many incidents, but there's already been quite a number of incidents just in qualifying in gold here.
Okay.
So,
I mean, a lot of these drivers, the repeat or the return, drivers from last series should know the rules. So it'd be interesting to hear what these little impedances have been, or what's sort of created the dramas.
well, I think it's just the level of competition when you move into gold. The sheep station's a bit bigger, Luke.
Well, 8/10 cover the top 20, so yeah, it's close.
That's it, isn't it?
Now Roberts, who has been an absolute, weapon in this series, sets down the early benchmark of 15.6, 2/10 off the pace. Corey McFarlane has just parked it in the pits. He won't go again. And Dylan O'Shea, P3, not really setting any purple sectors at the moment. I'm not seeing many purples at all. In fact, he's just been blocked slightly through the final corner by one of the Racecraft cars, so that's hurt him slightly.
It's interesting too, in pre-qualifying, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he had Ben's number, and he had, was quicker than Ben. And unfortunately, this afternoon he said, "I can't come, guys. I've come down with COVID this afternoon."
Oh.
So our fastest pre-qualifier is sort of unfortunately sitting there with his feet up and probably his head down. So I hope he's well enough for next week, because he really took it to Ben in pre-qualifying, which is not something you see every day.
Yeah. And one of the Area 51 drivers who we're just seeing out there concentrating hard is Georgian Smith. So Dubby Area 51 Sim Sports Racing is his complete team name, and currently sitting in 37th. So just you can see the way he's grimacing through the corner. I love that. I love being able to see.
He's certainly driving it. Look at him now.
Yeah, complete focus. I love it. I think this is why, this series is great. We've got about 10 drivers that give us access to webcams. A lot of the series don't, and I always say to them, come on, you've got to get us that personal touch of actually seeing the real race, the guys really racing these sims, because they're not just sitting there with a keypad, or a gamepad and a TV. These guys are in a sim rig and they're working their asses off.
Personally, I'm shocking, and for years I've driven real race cars, but I get in the simulator, you think I'm in the sidecar. I'm leaning out the side. I've got to put a harness on to keep me in the seat.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how the mind just transforms you into the real race car? And some of these guys have got the most elaborate sim rigs that pretty much probably cost the same as most race cars anyway.
Yep, mine's probably a good half a race car.
Yep. But we're looking now. Qualifying has completely closed, but these drivers can finish the lap they're on. Roberts is going quick. Yeaman's going faster again as well. Just watching Daniel, who has yet down in 35th place, crosses the line. Does he improve? He's left it late, Daniel. He goes up to 16th. So
That's
Still a
not
fair
where he
wear down.
normally
Yeah,
is.
yeah. For Yeaman, he's, I mean, six tenths off the pace, 16th place. That's incredibly close at the top.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of this series. If you really want to know how good you are, you got to come and do F3A, because mate, there is nothing more competitive. It is the absolute premier open wheel Formula League, certainly in Australia and probably pretty much in the world. It's one of the tops, because the times these guys are doing are world record times, and quite often they're under world record. So, there isn't anywhere else that you can go if you want to prove yourself.
That's it, man. We're about to go to the party room, which is the grid, and we're going to go through and find out, well, who's going to get away cleanly. But it looks like it will be Benjamin Roberts who will take the first pole, and that's where he wants to launch his championship, from the front. McFarlane will start from 2. Dylan O'Shea, we know he's quick. Can he be consistent, though? He's going to start from the second row. And Tyson Broad, another driver who we've mentioned more often than not last season. He has always been quick. He will start also from the second row. So let's go down now and check out this wonderful grid. So Benny Roberts will start from pole position. Corey McFarlane starts alongside him with Dylan O'Shea. Tyson Broad off that second row. McGetz and O'Gorman off the third row of the grid with Court Rogers. And then we've got Bowden and Trevor Leonard to round out your top 10. 11th on the grid, Bailey Evans with Kobe Williams alongside. That will be a quick little row. 6 as well. Watch out for them sneaking through the field. Banks and Macedo down in 14th place. Christensen, Yeaman 16th on the grid. Dawson starts alongside Ireland. Then it's Wooten and Lillis down there with Mazoka, Patrill, Hardy and Will Ryan to round out the top 24 drivers on the grid. 25th as we go back, it's Hermanson and Spatch will start from 26th on the grid. Mackenzie Stewart and Gosley alongside. Then it's Cirillo, the Brajan, Baz and Smith down in 32nd. Arthur Barnes, Brazier and Sanders, your top 36. 37th on the grid is Jack Mara with Brant Johnson. Asher Hanley will start down in 39th, and Nikoloff down in 40th on the grid. Lockie Capel, as always, standing by in the safety car. Hopefully not needed too early in this race. But as the drivers get nervous, they grid up slowly here. They do have a bit of time while Rue gives the final instructions, but this is where the nerves rise. Let's listen into Rue Koistra.
On qualifying and go back out again, we will ping you for it. It's in the rule book. Just make sure that you don't do that in this season. Apart from that, don't forget these tyres take a few laps to warm up, so try not to do anything stupid for the first couple of laps, and don't ruin your race or anyone else's.
So just listening to
race
Rue's
hard,
briefing.
And be awesome, everyone.
Righto, so that's it. Briefing done. You'll see the final few cars start to grid up now, and the run down towards turn 1. Well, race 1 here with the silver class, we saw most of them get away well. It was only one car, I think it was Mello, in the middle of the pack that dropped back 3-4 spots. Getting these things, bit into the surface and then away, so important. If you bog down or if you get too much wheel spin, they're going to gobble you up. You've got Dylan O'Shea on the second row. He's just looking forward, thinking, right, either of these two on the front row make a mistake, I'm eating you for breakfast.
And looking down through the grid, I know that we mentioned that Dan Yeaman was back in 16th, but I'm looking there, Jack Mara, who was right up the front last season. He's back in 37th on the grid, so he's got a few chippies to catch up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's some drivers. Hardy was great last season. Mazoka was good. They're down outside the top 20. Brad Wooten, who's been fast in some other series, he's down in 19th place. Wow, it's just a big field of cars. Kobe Williams, I expect to be quick from P12. I probably thought he would qualify a little bit better than that, but as I said, it's 6 or 7 tenths covering the top 20. It's just super close.
It is, and I'm looking there too. David Baz back in 31st place. He's a returner from a few seasons ago, so it's good to see some old timers coming back.
Yep, we're getting a green light now as we get underway. There it is. Good start at the front. Bit of wheel spin from about the 5th row, but everyone else got away without any wheel spin at all. And decent start right through the pack as they race down towards turn 1. 40 of the best swing their way through the first corner. Oh, we got a spinner straight away.
Yep. He's copped it up from the tap from the rear. There's a couple of them, not major, but there's a couple of incidents.
Yeah, Bowden was one of them that went around. I'm not sure if he got contact from behind, but Rob is one of the cars off the racetrack, and straight away Ben Roberts says, I'll take that and I'll get out of here. See you later, boys.
So second, third, fourth, fifth, they're all battling with each other, and Ben Roberts just put his head down and put a gap in there. I did see there that Dylan O'Shea made a really good challenge down the outside into turn 2, and McFarlane absolutely sent it back up the inside to reclaim his second position.
Yeah, they're fighting hard at the front. So McFarlane on your screen now, O'Shea, Broad, McGuess. So the top 5 have held position. Paul Rogers made up 2 spots off the start. He finds himself now up into 6th place in a livery, which is very, very, 2005?
It's very Jensen Button, isn't it?
Am I close on the years there? I think about
Yeah.
2005, 2006, somewhere around there.
Every year seems the same to me, but it's a Braun GP. I did notice.
Oh, we got a crash. Big one.
Oh, one upside down there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Are we going to get a safety car here, Luke?
I think we will early on.
We got
50-minute
one
race.
upside down.
Yeah, that's Christensen, isn't it? Yeah, he's upside down in the gravel trap.
Christensen upside down. I hope he's okay.
Request time.
He's talking,
He's
so
talking.
we know he's okay.
Number 5.
He's okay.
Push lap.
And he's in good spirits at least, which
7.
is...
He was having a chuckle upside down, which is very Fernando Alonso, isn't it?
yeah, we're under caution too. So there you go, safety
Yeah,
car.
there we go. Safety car.
Lap 2 safety car.
Yep.
Now, too early for a pit stop?
Yeah, way too early for a pit stop. This is just to calm the field down. The big thing here is, can they keep some temperature in the tyres? Well, they're still fighting there for position under the safety car. That's a bit...
There was a bit of... Maybe there was some redressing going on. I love that. Is that the Roadrunner on the side of this car? That's very cool.
yeah, look at that's David Baz. What a beautiful livery. The simple black and white. I'm loving it.
Look at that. Look at the Roadrunner.
With a Roadrunner. That is so cool. Love it. It's a really, really simple, striking livery. I love it.
Yeah.
I love looking at the liveries in this series, Luke.
Yeah. 1.2 seconds out in front, obviously just waiting to catch up to the safety car. Now, the rules about weaving behind the safety car, can you just keep your tyres up to temp?
They can weave all they like. I'm not sure how much difference it makes with regards to temperature. I've always been a fan of running the brakes, so what I'll do is keep the left foot on the brakes and drive the car, and let the heat from the brakes generate into the tyre.
Okay, yeah, just like the real world, and you'd have that from your real world experience.
Yeah, and we've got someone in pit lane.
Okay, who's rolling the dice? Do you think that's Bailey Evans who was involved maybe in the crash?
Don't know. Looking at it is Bailey Evans. Now I'm going to watch him and see if he takes tyres. If his car comes up off the deck, we'll know he takes tyres. So I'll watch this and report back to you. There's also another car in pit lane.
Going to check a few replays here quickly. Brad Wooten, this was one of the first incidents that is flagged here with iRacing, as Max Christensen's under investigation. But that was the spinner. So Wooten was just concentrating on a few other people making some mistakes, and he went around there. I think Craig Anspach probably got caught up in that. Let's have a quick look at his part in all that. Anspach, we're right on board with him now, so he could see this checking up. They're all being pretty careful. The spinner's in front of him, then the car spins and tried to avoid it, and then he finally gets around. It took an eternity to get that pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, and the one up front that spun got tagged from behind, so I think that may have been Rob Bowden and just got tapped from behind. It was unfortunate, but just, it happens.
This is the Christensen. He ran wide there. I'm just trying to see where the contact was made to flip him over. So he's just driven into the side of the 12 there, and unfortunately that's what's happened.
It was a pretty clumsy upside down, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hence why he's under investigation, so that's what's happened there.
Now, the interesting thing there was I did watch Bailey Evans, and he's only made a quick pit stop for fuel, and he's back on the back of the field.
So no tyres?
No tyres. Didn't see any tyres. Car didn't come up. And looking at what happened with the guys in silver there towards the end, they were getting a bit loose on the tyres. So this race is nearly twice the distance.
Yeah.
So I think that they've got to be very, very careful with regards to how they treat the tyres. You're going to have to be respectful of the tyres in this race. So this, as I said, this circuit's really full on corner, and that's heating the tyres. So it's very, very tough on tyres, this circuit.
Respectful of tyres? Never.
Yeah.
So, look at this. So Roberts, who's leading, and he hasn't got his team name in there yet, so we might have to get him to go and update his SDK profile. As some lap cars will come through, and I like this rule. Gets them back on the lead lap, those that have lost out early.
We saw last weekend how good that was during Bathurst 12-hour, allowing people who had an issue to get back into the race. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I am too, especially in a 50-minute race, because the last thing you want to do is spend all week practicing, come along and have a little incident on lap 1, and then that's it. That's terrible.
Yeah, I ran the Daytona 24 hours the other day, and it was, it didn't happen there because we never got a yellow flag for the whole 24 hours, and people going down 3 or 4 laps, and it's sort of like you're not going to get it back. It's really, really tough.
Yep, it's almost looking over the shoulder here of Benny Roberts. It looks like a Benson and Hedges calf behind from that little.
It's a Renault. It's a F1 Renault, I think.
Yeah, let's have a quick look here at the Send It Sim Sports entry.
It's an F1 Renault that Corey McFarlane's driving. So there we go.
Very good. And then the plane number 19 behind is Dylan O'Shea. He's got a plain front, but it has got the back end is looking very pretty. I like that.
That's very sweet. Nice, clean, simple. And then behind that you got Tyson Broad.
Tyson Broad in the one of the Beyond Blue cars for Drop Bear Motorsport. Good to see they're still supporting that worthwhile cause. So it's great to hear that. And you can check out Drop Bear Motorsport. Check them out on Facebook. Great team and a really good initiative where they've created some funds, I think, from each race and each result they get. They dedicate more of that money across to Beyond Blue, which is fantastic. About to go back to green by the sounds of race control there. Here we go.
Here we go. We're green.
So Roberts doesn't hang around, does he? He gets straight into it.
He's gone because he has the option to go whenever. Once it's called green, means Ben's gone, but he has an option to decide when he wants to go. So he went quite early this time.
Yeah, crossing the line. You can just see in the background there, big snake of cars. McFarlane second, O'Shea, Broad, McGetz, Rogers, Williams. We've got Yeaman working his way now up onto the back of Riso Gorman in 10th place. So Yeaman's fighting forward. He's gone to the inside there of O'Gorman. Job done.
Nice move.
Yeah, good job, Daniel. He hasn't qualified probably as well as you'd expect, but he's a race winner from last season. He's someone that we expect to probably see on the podium towards the end of this race.
Yeah, he's one of the guys in the field that's most likely to take it to Benny Roberts. So you've got him, McFarlane, O'Shea. That little crew. They're all Benny's sitting on the top of the tree at the moment, but they're all trying to knock him off.
Yeah, mate. Good shout out there to Adam St. John watching tonight. Hey, Adam, and plenty of others tuning in. Sly Ducks over on YouTube. Joking says this is messy with that first lap. It was a little bit messy between a couple of the drivers. And Sher says, is Mickey with us this season? I don't think we've got Mickey there. And
well, he hasn't turned up so far. Maybe next week. Mickey, where are you, mate? We miss you.
Philip says Spew and can't race. Hopefully an awesome race to watch though. And so far so good. We've got a car dropping down the order. Riso Gorman's tumbling down, and he has fallen right off the pace here. So the DSR Snackachangi car is going to drop outside of the top 30. Can you believe? Oh, spinner!
And another one.
It's one of the Snackachangis too. It was Hermanson. Was it Hermanson? No, it was someone else. It was Asher Henley. Has gone right around in front of his teammate. Almost took him out.
That was a shocker. We nearly had a barbecue party in the backyard.
Philip Sanders, here he is, the 829. Also Drop Bear Motorsport. And up 12 spots. So he's fighting with Brant Johnson, who's up 15 into 23rd, and they're on the back of Ben Brazier, who's up 13 into 22nd. So these guys are they're on the march forward.
So now somebody there has dropped 3 spots. He's off the road again and dropped another one. So he got offline, lost his rhythm, and it's 4 spots gone in 2 corners. And I'm trying to pick who that was. I will tell you in a second. It was, by the looks of it, that was Josh Banks drop back.
Okay.
Oh, so he's at tail end of these, but he's being, not tail ender, but he's being lapped. So he's back in the field. So
drive-through penalty for Bailey Evans too, causing an incident in lap 1. So he's going to have to drive through the pit lane and not take fuel. He'll just go through and cop that penalty.
But he's already taken fuel.
True.
Oh, there's a big dive into the last corner as well.
As Evans goes into the pits, we see him dive in for his drive-through. We're looking at Jack Mara fighting back here with Smith and they're both chasing Brad Wooten. This little gaggle of cars is 3, 4, 5, 6 cars quite close together. Brad Wooten with a colourful but nice livery there, the Corpit, and pushing on well. So way back in 32nd place, he'll be looking to push forward. I keep seeing Benny Roberts. He's got a red tag on his number this year, which keeps thinking he's off. I keep thinking he's off track, but he's not. He's on track at the moment. Half a second clear of Corey McFarlane, and looking pretty comfortable, as he always does, Benny. But who knows? Has he spent hours working on this track? We know he does put in the practice, Benny, and you can guarantee he has done laps to make sure he's on fire for this first round.
I think you'll find the pit stop when they take it, how good they are in pit lane, how quick they can be up pit lane, how short they stop. That's going to really make the telling difference between Benny, Corey and Dylan.
You have another drive-through.
So Bailey's just been given a second penalty for a second incident on lap 1, so he's going to have 2 drive-throughs.
It's not his night. I'm sitting here, I've got a second monitor and I'm watching Paul Rogers in that beautiful Braun GP car. He's a newcomer to the series, I believe, and put up a great showing there. Sitting in about 7th place at the moment.
Yeah, I reckon he does a bit of real world racing, judging by his profile photo there. And he's got this hooked up. He's only made up the 1 position, but he's staying, within about 5.5 seconds of the lead at this stage. And, 12 minutes into the race, that's where you want to be. We're still only 1/5 race distance, incredibly.
He's got a couple of quick guys coming up behind him. He's got Yeaman and Trevor Leonard as well. Both of those guys were real front runners last year. And Christopher Island certainly no slouch either. He was very quick in pre-qualifying as well.
Yeah, there he is. So another of the Simrigs drivers sitting in 11th. Chris Mitchell, not on the grid tonight.
No, missing Chris. I don't know where he's gone, but, mate, you should be here. It's not the same without you, Chris.
And we missed the big smile.
Yeah, well, we're welcoming him back anytime. Got to pull it out and come back.
We'll get him back on the grid.
Anthony Marzocca there, cruising along 12th place, having a nice little run tonight. Anthony's a long-term F3A driver. Great sportsman, always out there giving it everything, and quite often very, very on the pace.
Yeah,
he seems to be doing a really good drive tonight.
He's doing great, and Anspach has just gone off. He's waiting, I think, for the whole field to tuck its way through, and now he'll come back onto the racetrack right at the pit exit as well. Awkward spot to drop the car, but drops back now to 34th place. That's right at the back.
While we talk about that pit exit, it is a really awkward pit exit because you're fed onto the outside of turn 1, and the fast cars coming through use that pit exit as part of the line.
It's very,
in a lot of cases.
Very Canada, isn't it? Very Gilles Villeneuve, that circuit, the way it comes out.
We've got to be careful. We've got to watch that because as the leaders go in for the pits and come out of that pit lane, they'll be feeding back into the middle of the race.
Oh, that was tight.
That was very tight. And I think, we could see an issue there where with some people coming back out of pit lane.
Caution lap quarter 10.
Caution quarter 10. So just seeing if there's a car off the track here. Race control was just mentioning a caution there, but we look pretty good. Rue's obviously got all the bells and whistles to see where incidents are happening at all times with that, 15 screens that he runs in race control.
Now I'm sitting here on my second monitor and watching another guy, Harrison Lillis, which is another newcomer to the series. Harrison's been very, very quick in pre-qualifying. Another great guy. He's sitting there putting the pressure on Marzocca. So you've got the new and the old there. But it's very, very hard to pass here unless someone makes a mistake.
Yeah, you said that right at the top of the broadcast, and now I've actually seen a couple of hours worth of racing. I'm hearing you.
So there we are, riding on board with Harrison. Very, very quick, right, left, almost 5th gear if you're lucky. And easy to run wide on the way out there. This corner is almost flat in 5th gear.
See the trust he has in the bite as well of the tyre. He just throws it in there.
That's the beauty with this F3 car, is it does generate some real downforce once you got the tyres hot. you've got the grip to get the mechanical grip to go with the aero grip, and you've got to learn to trust the grip, and it's what a lot of guys have a little bit of trouble getting to grips with the F3 car, is just trusting that downforce.
Getting
it's
to
a
grips
great
with the
little
grips.
car to drive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks good, mate. I've got to bolt my steering wheel back on and have a crack one of these days.
Well, yeah, we run quite often there's a Saturday practice or there's a Sunday pre-qualifying. You can always go and join in and have a bit of fun. We can take your time out later.
The problem is, I've as you know, I've converted to the desk now. I needed to be comfortable for this year with so much going on. My rig is packed up at the moment.
Oh, that's no good. You can come around and use mine.
That sounds good. So,
down in the cave.
in the cave, yeah, the man cave with all the fun toys. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I did have a photo I sent through to Rue of my setup here. I think I've lost it again already, so we might show that next week. A few people have been asking to see the setup here in the studio, so. But yeah, look, I'm comfortable. That's one thing I'll tell you.
I'll send you mine as well, because it's under the stairs. You lift up the stairs and you go into the cellar, and it's got the rig in the cellar.
Oh, that's mad. Yep, the hidden door.
It
So
is.
Nikoloff off the road for Area 51. He's searching for places which can't be found on a map at the moment. Area 51, and he's someone else is off too. Is that Will Ryan? Or it is Will Ryan for Pace Syndicate. He's just gone for an excursion. Hey, it's about that 17-minute mark. We saw this happen in race 1 as well, the silver class. Do you think it's just this moment where the drivers are, like you said, getting a bit fatigued? It's been, 17 minutes of left, right, full concentration, and a few of them are now dropping the ball.
Yeah, it's not hard to sort of lose your concentration after about 20 minutes there. But these guys, most of these guys, as well as driving an F3 car, they're out driving a GT3 car another weekend. Probably half the field, some of Daytona 24 hours the other day. I mean, that's a fantastic experience, but it also teaches you to keep your focus, and I think I don't know, it just seems to be that point about 20 minutes. We always see it. They just get a couple of people get a bit loose. Now, whether that's tyres coming on a bit hot, overheating, trying a bit hard to make up, after 20 minutes they're finding their back, they've dropped off a bit and they're just trying to push it that little bit extra and overdoing it. Don't know, but it's always that 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and we just saw there Dan Yeaman, a bit of thumbs up. He had time to realise he was on the broadcast and give us a thumbs up while he's concentrating.
His face is not giving me a thumbs up.
No, he's looking pretty serious, isn't he? So he's got a lot of work to do. He's made up 7 spots into 9th, but he's a man that probably, his bar would be set right top 5 at least, if not a podium. Yeah. So he's got plenty of work to do, and he would know. I mean, the amount of commentary he does with SimSpeed and other things, he will know the quality that he's got in front of him. He will have raced against Kobe Williams, Dylan O'Shea, Corey McFarlane. I'm sure he's seen them through the Porsche Cup and those sorts of series. Benny Roberts, I mean, he is the myth, the legend. He's one that's hard to beat on any day of the year. But he's seen these names. Tyson Broad's another one. All these drivers in front of him, and he's thinking, I'm in 9th. Even if I get through past 8th and 7th, how do I get past these top-notch drivers?
And especially on this track, there's not a lot of places to get by, but that's certainly not a I'm happy to see you face, is it?
That's a highly concentrating young fella there, so good job. But Roberts has walked away 1.7 seconds now for the Machine Cult Mini Muscle Cars entry, and this livery, which with the number 1, he gets the glory of having the number 1 on the car, and a race suspension for Trent Gostley. Early disconnection on lap 11, so a 1 race suspension for car number 4, Trent Gostley. Big one.
That is not something you want to do in this league, because it's always frowned upon. A lot of people put a lot of effort into putting this on, and the ultimate disrespect is to go, I've got the shits and I'm out of here.
Yep. So 1 race suspension will go his way. We won't see him next round. We may see him the next round after that, though. So just watching this battle with Jack Murray, he's still struggling for tyre temp. He's either doing that or trying to distract Brad Wooten here by wiggling around in his revision mirrors. But yeah, he's not
trying to get the last bit of sauce out of the bottle, I think.
He could be doing that as well. Brazier goes or has Rob Bowden fighting back. Rob went around on lap 1, didn't he? So Rob's making his way back through the field, and he's a good competitor, tanked SRT driver. We've seen him podium in this series, and he'll be keen to get back up towards the top 10 and at least grab some good points for round one.
He is fully on it. If you look at that, there's not a millimetre he's leaving out there, and he is absolutely up it for the rent. So, where is he? Where's he sitting at the moment?
He's 20th. He's 20th, and his best lap time is half a second quicker than the three competitors in front of him. So, he's gonna reel him in. He's got Lee Harding next, then he's got Scotty Barjan, and then David Baz. So if he can just get onto the back of them, get a bit of a tow, I expect to see him probably shoot past them pretty quickly.
So we're at 24 minutes, are we, Luke, as I read it? 21 minutes. So, we've got the next 10 minutes, we'll see some pit stops?
I hope so. Alex Court. We've got another car off the track. It's Mackenzie Stewart back on safely, no issues. But yeah, look, pit stops under green. Do you think they'll keep waiting and try and push it right out?
Absolutely. You're not going to pit under green, and unless you're really in trouble with fuel, and everybody starts with the same fuel level, so I can't imagine anybody's really in trouble at the moment. Would be interesting to, though, could you take an early pit stop, do it under green, and go for track position, then when everyone else stops, if you're the first stopper, and if there is a yellow and it slows the field down, you probably, no matter where you are, go to the front of the field.
Yep. It's just such an unknown in a race like this, and you can never predict when that big crash is going to happen, when a safety car is going to come out.
It's been surprisingly good, touch wood, so far, considering this circuit and the amount of work that they're doing.
Yeah. We haven't seen too many bin at big time. I mean, in the past we've seen wheels off these cars. It doesn't take much to knock a corner off, and we're just not seeing that tonight. Other than that big, clumsy rollover we saw in the first couple of laps, it's been pretty much on point since.
Yeah, we've not seen one canoe out there tonight at all.
Canoe, I love it. Spike Goddard still giving me a hard time on Facebook chat. So Spike, get yourself your rig set up. Get yourself out here in this series.
Come on, buddy.
That's my challenge. Do you have a race against Spike, David?
No.
He's a quick
I go
fella.
way back further than he did, and I never got to the levels that Spike did. He did an awesome job at F3 internationally. Is a hell of an achievement to just do that. Now we've seen somebody dive into the pits there. I'm seeing one of the deadhead cars, I think.
Yeah, it's Will Ryan. Pay Syndicate's in the pits.
Yeah, so Will Ryan's in the pits. Now, that's interesting. He's taken an early stop. He's playing that card that I was just talking about. I'm going to take the fuel and grab the track position.
I've got to tell you one quick Spike Goddard story. So we ride motorbikes together. He's got a 900cc. I've got a 1000cc, and he kept beating me in a drag race. And I find out that he goes beep beep, and then he goes on 3, and I thought it was always go on 4, like beep 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 go. And so it took me, I was scratching my head thinking, I've got 165 horsepower here, he's got about 120. How is this guy beating me? Anyway, we finally realised it was the 3, 2, 1, and you go on 1, where I think it's 3, 2, 1, go. And we had a rematch on Saturday, and I wiped the floor. So, meow. Thanks, Spike.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing I learned early in motor racing, is that you don't go on green, you go on the red going out. You know? So they used to have the red and green. Now they don't, but you always... And everyone went on green, and somebody said to me, I think it was Frank Manich said to me, go when the red goes out. And I went, and it's just a 1/10 of a second ahead. Yeah. But, you know, the funny thing is, I still use it at the traffic lights every day.
Hey, I miss the green, you know. Like, I remember F1 when it went away from being red to green, just red to going out, and it's something I've always missed, that green for some reason. That's one reason why I bring it up in the sim. I always push a green light. I manually do that. I just think there's something about that green which triggers, hey, we are going.
Now, just looking at Will Ryan, he's taken that pit stop, Luke, and as I read it, he's about 50, just over 50 seconds off the lead, 57 seconds off the lead, but he's got a pit stop done, and we saw that in the earlier race with Silver. There he's just fighting for an exit position there, somebody round in turn 1. but he's grabbing trap position by doing that early pit stop. And we saw it with Darren Fay in the silver. Now, can Will Ryan do the same thing and charge himself up into the front group?
Well, watch this guy too, David, because Kobe Williams, he stopped on lap 17, 4-second stop. He's a few spaces up the road in 24th. Now, we know Kobe can carry a quick race car, so I expect to see him also set that challenge. The gap to the leader, 36 seconds now. Let's try and do some calculations in here, how much they lose in a pit stop, but he'll put himself back up there in contention for a top 5, I think, if he continues this push.
31. Just try and flick spin the other way and not into traffic, mate.
Jesse
Kobe,
Butler,
yep.
Jesse Butler just quickly saying, let's go DPR, boys, hopefully in for the next round. So Jesse Butler will be back next round, let's hope. Good to see another DPR car coming back in, so very
Cool.
good.
Kobe in his bright green car, and he's always in a green car.
Yep.
But I was always told that green was unlucky colour for a race car. Well, you never see a green speedway car because the speedway guys are quite suspicious.
Yep.
Green is a no-no.
Now, Kobe Williams, I think, races go-karts. Not sure if he's stepped up from go-karts into other classes of racing just yet. I know the name's been on my radar for a while. I know he's been a busy young chap out there racing.
I think I've got a feeling he's had his butt in some sort of race car, but I can't tell you what.
He was second in the Australian Kart Championship Cadets 12 in 2016. So, yeah, he's been in there. 2022, 18 races, 1 win, 5 podiums, 1 pole position. Now I'm trying to see what class that's in. That's in racing, but yeah, he was definitely karting 2020. I'm just trying to find what he's in. Atlantic Racing. What's that, Dave? Would you know that what that is?
No.
He's in a Spectrum. No. That would be Formula Ford, would it?
Formula Ford.
It is. He is 2022 Australian Formula Ford Championship. He raced in that one. He was in the Victorian Formula Ford Duratec Championship in 2022 as well.
That's right. He's been running a Spectrum, one of Mike Borland's Spectrums in Formula Ford. So
I knew the name.
Interesting too. Mentioning about Formula Ford is that iRacing have a Formula Ford on the way.
That will excite you.
It does, and they've modelled a 2023 Ray Formula Ford using a 1600 Kent engine, not a Duratec, but that'll be awesome. It'll be fantastic to see a Formula Ford in this on the series, on the service, and be great to see how they're handling that non-aero car now, because they've come a long way in recently with their time models. They've got one of the top engineers out of RF2 who's come on board, and it takes a while for them to have that influence, but he's there now and he's making some really big changes. They picked up quite a lot of guys out of Slightly Mad Studios as well, and I believe there's some really big changes on the way in the way the cars handle, which will be great to see. The F3's been a standout always because it really does. It's a really well built little car, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how that Formula Ford 1600 goes.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you'll be someone that can critique that. You've got plenty of experience in Formula Ford, so you'll be able to let us know, how close this thing is to the real world.
Yeah, I've driven a couple of F3 cars as well, and I mean, not the aero car so much like this is, but this is a very, very good car. It really is, and that's why it's so popular. It's a really well-balanced little car.
But mate, let's be honest, you've driven historic touring cars, Formula Vs, Formula Fords, Formula everything. Is there anything you haven't driven?
Yeah, there's quite a lot I'd like to drive that I haven't driven.
Oh, mate, living the dream though, as we quickly look at the 30-minute mark. Still 20 to go. So we got a car stuck off the side of the racetrack there.
Yeah.
Didn't see who that was. Did you see who that was?
No, I did not see who that was. And I can't even find them on screen.
No, not showing an off-track, whoever that is, so they must be back on. It may have been Brad Wooten. Anyway, back on with Daniel Yeaman here. He's in 8th place now, so has not stopped. Josh Banks is still the top driver that stopped, on the opening lap, so he started from the pit lane by the looks of things. And Kobe Williams is ahead of Jack Marra, so Jack Marra still chasing down Kobe. He's up 12 spots, Jack, so nothing to hang his head about there. Kobe, the top driver to stop in the race, lap 17, still sitting in 24th.
Yeah, I'm still seeing Will Ryan there, who did make that full stop
Yeah.
And can definitely go to the end. He's still, nearly a minute off the lead, so he'll move up, but I don't see him really jumping to the front.
Yeah, well, Will stopped a lap before Kobe Williams, so
there you go.
and there's quite a few spaces between the two of them. So
Yeah, Kobe's in 24th at the moment, I think.
Will's 29th. Will's 29th. Yep.
Yeah, and see Kobe's 38 seconds off the lead, so Kobe could be there. He could be there because 38 seconds, it's quite a slow pit entry and it's an awkward pit exit. It's easy to lose a bit of time on your pit, so probably not a bad thing to do it when there's not a lot of traffic around. So he's done that. Oh, he's a big moment there coming onto the straight too.
Yeah, so is Mackenzie Stewart, just dropped it. It's getting back up to speed. And a big thanks there to Tom Wilkinson as well, just confirming that Kobe was racing or will be racing in the National Formula Ford Series this year. So it's good to see people listening in that know their grassroots local motorsport as well. Fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. And we're hoping we might have some news with regards to Formula Ford in the future anyway.
Yeah, great. And any sim series, I'm not just saying this because I get to the pleasure of broadcasting this one, but if any sim series want to see how a series should be run in the background, this is one to look at. And I've shown a few people the workmanship, like I said earlier, that goes into the regs book and the brochures that get put up. Everything's just top class. So congratulations to you, Dave, and everyone behind the scenes. Roo, we'll speak to Roo at the end of the race. He'll be, I think, a few glasses of red in, enjoying himself tonight, just sitting back thinking this is a great championship that he's really put his heart and soul into.
Yeah, we've Roo and I spent a lot of time sort of planning, talking, working on what we're doing, and there's a lot of stuff coming in the future. I can't say anything yet. There's a lot of stuff going on. The whole sim racing world is changing slowly. So I think we've got a safety car. Kobe Williams stuck in the middle of the road.
Yeah, we do. We've got a caution, full course caution.
Watch everyone dive for the pits because it's right on time.
Kobe Williams, can you believe that? After pushing so hard, we'll see if we can pick up where the incidents. Yeah, because unlucky.
Go back and have a look myself.
So here's the replay. Kobe Williams, who was on the fight and pushing forward, might do this all by himself. No one around. Tips it in and touches the dirt. So just got on the dirt, into the fence. Big hit.
Ouch. Now that's a really good, legitimate safety car. That's why Roo and the team base everything on real world. So if a car comes to stop on the road like that, they'll pull a safety car. If he's well off the road against the fence, it'll be a local yellow. So that they try and base everything off the real world. So it gives everybody a true experience.
Yeah, so big impact there, and look at the pit party we've got going on at the moment.
There's a pit party, be crazy.
Roberts has come out.
994, you can now say.
So he's come back out in the lead by the looks of that.
Yep, with McFarlane behind him. But those two had pulled away. I was just about to say to you before we cut away to that incident that Roberts and McFarlane had a huge gap back to O'Shea. They'd pulled out this massive margin and they were just running away with it. And I was impressed actually that Corey was staying within sort of a half a second to a second of Ben Roberts, but that whole lead now is gone.
And look who's there in 6th place.
Jack Mara.
Jack Mara.
And he's got Tyson Broad behind him as well. He's got a teammate there, I think, out of position. Hanley is out of position there. He might get a wave round, will he?
Yeah, if he's a lap down, he'll get a wave round. Has Jack Mara pitted?
We're looking into it.
Let's have a quick look here. So Jack Mara has pitted, yes, lap 4 for 4 seconds worth of fuel. Early stop for him.
That's a big push. He'll be wishing for a long safety car.
Also 25 there. Had some contact in the fast lane that spun me around before I could swing into my
Daniel
box.
Yeaman, we can just hear on the radio there.
We'll look into that.
So what's happened to Daniel?
He was talking about contact in the fast lane. Now, I was under the impression that you can't make contact in the pits.
Yeah, contact
I'm
was
just
on
going
the fast lane, but everyone was on my left side covering the pit stalls with overlap.
So let's just into race control here and trying to get the gist.
He's had a spin in pit
Everyone,
lane.
please stay on the left if you're on the lead lap. people that are one lap or more down right lane. The whole
So,
position.
is he saying he was blocked to get into the pits? Is that what happened there?
I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm doing a personal replay to try and see what's happened here, so I can inform you. But I'm just on board. So he couldn't get into the slow lane because they're 2 and 3 abreast in pit. Oh, okay. So he's gone to pull into his pit lane and he's been clipped from behind, which I'm very surprised because.
I'm under the impression you can't make contact in the pits in iRacing unless they've changed something.
Been advised to tow a while ago there, mate.
So have they now changed something which would make it ultra realistic, which I've been calling for? You should have to avoid other cars in the pits. That's great if they have implemented that.
Well, it certainly happened. It certainly happened. I think it's because they haven't actually got to the pit lane, and it's Trevor Leonard that he's come into contact with. Trevor was sitting in the middle, and they've got overlap in the pit lane, and Dan's tried to pull from the fast lane into his pit stop, and he's clipped the front of Trevor Leonard and spun the car around the wrong way. Okay. So there's certainly contact, but it wasn't in the slow lane or the pit stop lane. It was out in the faster lane. So I can only think that that's why there's actual contact between the cars.
Okay, so that's interesting.
At the end of wave around, everyone that requested a review on their position are in the correct space.
We'll see if we can have a look at it. I'm just going to quickly flick back, and I might have to do a little bit of searching here. So there was Yeaman just recovering from the spin, so I'll just take it back a little bit.
Go back a little bit, and you'll see, and if you go to Trevor Leonard, the car behind him, and go into the cockpit, you'll see that they've actually had contact.
Position no more than 80 kilometers
Here's
an
the
hour.
overhead.
Yep. Now you watch here. So Dan goes to pull into the pits. There we go.
That's probably really caught him out. I was under the impression that cannot happen in iRacing. So interesting.
Yeah, and I can only think it's because they weren't in the pit lane. They were in the access lane, if you can call it.
Well, we're looking like we're about to go green here as Dylan O'Shea putting some effort in to warm those tyres up. That's looking very realistic, the burnouts and all.
And I think Corey's actually trying to hook his tow rope onto the back of Ben.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to go with him here. And Roberts was quick out of the blocks last time. He's going to have to keep his wits about him now because, O'Shea will be ready to pounce on this as well. We know he can drive a fast race car. Can he be consistent enough to just put a few laps together here and try and get to the front? 12 to go.
It'd be nice to see Dylan actually come and do this whole series and really take it to Ben, because I think he's got the ability to run with Ben.
Good restart though, Roberts.
Yeah,
he's straight away half a second. Good getaway.
Unfortunately, in some ways, that pit stop, that safety car, took the strategy away from us, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, but and it's not good to see Williams out of the race. Obviously, Yeaman as well, back to 10th now. He was up in 6th, so that little spin's cost him dearly. But whether or not, I'm just straight away, look at this, Roberts, 0.6 of a second. Can McFarlane go with him? Is Roberts just holding back? Has he been playing the long game here? And it was a 1 second gap prior to the pit stops. Is he just holding back and doing this easy? I wouldn't be surprised with Benny.
I think Benny's, if he could win by a minute, he'd win by a minute. But
surely not.
I think he's having pressure put on him.
Under investigation here, Trevor Leonard and Daniel Yeaman for that incident in the pit lane. So that'll be investigated by race controllers. Ireland gets past Tyson Broad. They're side by side. And nice job, moves himself up into 8th place. Up 10 positions in the race. Good job, Chris Ireland.
Yeah, I was just checking the incident numbers on the cars too, because 17 incidents, they get a drive-through penalty. So, but nobody's threatening that at all.
27. It's all good, he redressed.
Okay, Batril just was asking about someone overtaking and then not redressing, but he did redress in the end as Josh Banks is broken down. Stand by here, we might get another safety car. Let's just stand by. This is right on the pit straight, is it? The pit straight? Looks like the pit straight.
It is, last corner.
Yeah, we got a full course caution.
Another safety car.
So, what does that do really? It doesn't do much because everyone's had their pit stop. Everything's sort of neutralised with 10 minutes to go. What it will mean is we'll probably see a 3-4 minute safety car period here at least, maybe 5 minutes. It'll be a 2-3 lap dash right at the end of the race.
Yep. Because F3A always try and finish a race under green. We hate finishing a race under yellow. But I think you'll find once we've done this safety car, you'll probably look at being pretty close to no more safety cars where they.
Now look at this. Roberts is just flying back towards to pick up the safety car, but McFarlane 2.6 seconds hanging back. Is that strategic? Is he just trying to save that bit of extra fuel? Why would he not be
I have no idea.
chasing after Roberts here to try and be with him?
Car number 1.
Well, he doesn't need to chase after Roberts because it's a safety car.
Yeah.
When the safety car's out, you'll just pull up behind him.
Mate, while we're under caution, we've got to quickly mention the sponsors once more. Make sure you've entered that fantastic competition, VRS, giving away a $99 package at the end of the series. It's the easiest comp you can ever enter because you've just got to go put the code word AUTOBAHN, so it's AUTOBAHN this week, and that's your code word. You go and stick it into the link that's in the description of our video tonight, and all of a sudden you're in the running on the last race of the series. We throw out that spinny wheel and we award the winner. So please do that. It also helps support the sponsorships coming on board for this series. We've got some great sponsors. Of course, Racecraft is the naming rights sponsor for this Euro series. Some of the best sim rigs you'll ever see in the world, homegrown here right in Western Australia. So check out Racecraft. We've got lovely stickers on board as well, and giving away a discount code. So not just supporting the league, but there you go, you get 10% off. And Dave, you've got some of these stickers on your rig. They look incredible. And on top of that, of course, we have, once you've entered that prize, go and check out some of the websites. I've linked there to Shots, Home Emporium. Go and check them out. They've got some cool things happening, and another great supporter of this series. So without the sponsors, this wouldn't go ahead. So massive thanks to them. The championship points will be updated live at the end of this as well, and the team's championship. And you go get yourselves involved. We've already got some contestants, Steve, Gary, John and more, that have loaded in and have put their name down for this fantastic prize. So it takes you 2 seconds. Click the link in the description. Tonight's code word is AUTOBAHN, and we're going to have 9 code words over the next 9 races for this Euro series. So pretty exciting, easy to win. Get into it.
So it's about 7 minutes left to run there, Luke. So what are we looking at? Minute 15. Possibly 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah.
Be interesting to know too who took tyres and who didn't, and whether anyone has been able to run the race on one set of tyres. It quite surprised me in Silver how the tyres went off towards the end, so they might be a bit loosey-goosey in the last few laps.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great to know who took tyres live. It would be great if iRacing gave us that little stat, but we don't get that at the moment. Hey, quick shout out to Halil. He's just said, love to see you back on the vets one day, mate. Miss your broadcasting. Hope you're doing well, mate. Love to see you racing this series too. I reckon you'd be pretty handy jumping across into an F3 car. But Halil Caesar, who's raced, I first saw him racing on R Factor 2, and then went across to VFS. Really competitive, passionate driver, and does a good job. So good to see him tuning in. And it's funny, the Facebook algorithm, who knows who it shows our broadcast to. We got 5,500 people on there, but I think it only bleeds it through to a couple of hundred a night. But yeah, look, when I see names like that pop up that have been here since day one, it makes me very happy to have you on board. So thank you. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe to our new YouTube channel as well, RSTV AU. We'll try and get it back up to 1,000 subscribers like we had before we got deleted. So here we go. We're getting set to go racing to finish this one out. 5 minutes on the clock. This is going to be a showdown to finish round number 1 of this F3A Season 12.
Yes, we've got about half a lap to go before it goes green here. Ben's taking control of the field.
He's backing him up.
And Rue will hand him control of the field in a minute. Safety car's gone, and then it's up to Ben to go whenever he likes. So
I wonder if he gets nervous, Roberts. I mean, he's done this so many times. I've seen him restart so many races in different series. Here he is again.
There we go. He's just handed control. Go at your discretion. So Ben's in control of when this restart happens, and when it does, you'll hear, or we'll hear. I don't know whether you're broadcasting it, but
yeah, we'll hear it.
All green.
Bit of overlap there from McFarlane. He's really
Green.
there's the green. There's the green and the call from Root Coister as we get back underway. Roberts has 4.5 minutes to try and bring this home as McFarlane kissed the dirt on the exit of the final corner. We've got a spinner in the background. It's a couple of cars trying to get back onto the start-finish straight have gone around.
Fishing incident review, lap 30.
I think that was a bit more than a kiss, mate.
Yep. The brown grass and brown dirt at turn, what is it, 16 or turn 15? Almost put him out.
Corner.
The last corner, that's much easier, isn't it? I threw myself in the deep end there. As
McFarlane
Dylan O'Shea, O'Shea's eyes lit up there like a couple of saucers as Sanders goes off. O'Gorman's off the track too. We've got cars way off in the weeds, and O'Gorman comes back on rally style, but they're throwing it away on the last couple of laps here. He almost hit the back of that slow-moving car as well. But let's stay with this battle at the front. It is heating up towards the end of the race. Roberts trying to hang on. McFarlane a little bit loose. And then Dylan O'Shea ready to pick up the pieces.
And it's really easy on that little flip-flop onto the back straight to pick up a bit of inside curb, get the car light, and just lose the rear if you grab a bit too much curb. Same thing here. So down we're wide again.
And almost into the back of McFarlane as well. We've got another spinner. Leif Hardy's off in the background. Sorry, it's Hermanson. He's gone off at the late stages too. I think it was Hardy as well. Both those drives are off in the weeds with a lap or so to go, so not finishing the way they would have wanted.
So Shea's just dropped that half a car length back there, but McFarlane's still got all over the back of... see, it changes every corner. McFarlane's still well within striking distance of Roberts. One little mistake, that's all it takes, one little mistake.
Yep, and they've already dropped Magetz as well, who... just hasn't been able to run at the pace of the top three tonight, and he's dropped Alex Court. Good to see Alex Court right up there, P5, so driving beautifully. Jack Mara. Hey, Jack Mara is like a yo-yo tonight. There he is, P6. He's back up again.
Yep, great drive from Jack from right down the back of the field.
31 spots.
Yeah, cream always rises to the top. There's somebody wide onto the straight again.
Johnson. Whoa, look out.
Mate, side by side through the...
That's Lillis and Stewart side by side there.
Sorry, race control, was there a copy on my report?
Oh, McFarlane's off, is he? He is, and he's got damage.
Oh, no.
No, he doesn't. He's all right, but Roberts just does a 1:15.8. Roberts has turned the wick up. McFarlane's dropped it into the final corner.
That's so disappointing after he'd driven so beautifully all the race. But that's what happens when you try and take it to Ben.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was probably that little bit of extra pressure too, because Ben was pulling away. He just did a 15.8 and versus a 15.97 for Dylan O'Shea. And I think it was just maybe a tenth or so over the pace that McFarlane could run. His best time still in the 16s tonight at 16.06. And I think he tried to push into the 15s, and all of a sudden he went off the track. So, you know, everyone's got their limitations, and I think he's found it, unfortunately, the hard way.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're a real racing driver, you don't like settling for second, do you? So he was trying to take it and put some pressure onto Ben.
Yeah, yep. Battle's still going on back further as well. This is McFarlane trying to recover. He's back in 10th. That brings Yeaman into the 9th place now as well, so... he'll be happy with that. That's not a bad recovery, seeing as though he's been around in the pit lane facing the wrong way. You know, if he can settle with 9th, that's the white flag, I think, just waving as O'Shea now does a new fastest lap of the race, but he's too far back. He's 9/10ths back with a lap to go. The white flag waves. One to go here. Round number 1, this gold series for F3A. Wow, what a ripper.
And that's I think that's Lillis just getting through on McFarlane there into turn 1, and McFarlane's fighting this car left, right and centre. He's obviously got a little bit of... It may be the fact that he's had a spin, he's overheated the tyres and she's a bit loose, but he's really fighting tooth and nail to try and hang on to that position in the teammate sandwich right there now.
Yeah, he is. Oh, Patrol gets all out of shape.
he's gone.
Yeah.
They're both gone.
Yeah, it was Macedo that went with him, unfortunately. Oh, and contact on the rejoin.
That was just a bit clumsy.
Yeah, awkward. That'll get reviewed in post-race as well, unfortunately. But
yeah,
we got to take it.
Yeah.
We've got to take it to this guy, David. What a race. Benny Roberts, he's coming home. He's only got a few corners to go now. He's still drifting the car. And he's going to take a checker flag here for Mini Muscle Cars and Machine Cult. Race number 1 of this brand new Europe Championship, the Euro Series. And it is Benjamin Roberts with a really well-deserved win over Dylan O'Shea and Reese McGetz. Congratulations to the top 3. And, well, the cream roast at the top. And Roberts is back up there again.
I got to tell you, for all those guys sitting at home and thinking, oh, look at the gear these guys have, and they've got the ultimate setups and everything, I believe Ben still races on like the G27, $150 wheel, really basic setup, and look how good he is.
Oh, that's it. He's just a machine. He puts in a lot of practice, and the practice shows. You can look at the condition of the track too. You can see the rubber there, which is built up throughout the race, and wow, Roberts, number 1, the winner. We'll get him in for a quick interview shortly. We'll bring you all the results, wrap it up here from round number 1 of this F3A series. Thanks to everyone that's watched tonight and got involved in the broadcast, and don't forget to subscribe and click on that prize. Autobahn is your code word for tonight. You might win yourself that VRS package, and that will make you quicker, just like these drivers tonight. So fantastic. Here are the results, brought to you by iRacing. Big thanks to iRacing for such a great service, and confirmed there. 1.3 seconds the winner. Benjamin Roberts over Dylan O'Shea, and Reese gets himself P3. Alex Court, Jack Mara, great drive up into 5th. Trevor Leonard, Chris Island 7th. You picked that one early, Dave, as well. Chris has driven great tonight. And Tyson Broad, Daniel Yeaman, and Harrison Lillis rounds out your top 10. They smoke it here. Incredible. We'll get some interviews shortly. We'll see who we've got there, Dave. Anyone making their way in just yet?
Yeah, so Reese Marquette's nice little pickup of a podium there. Sat there back off the front 3 and just looked after the tyres, looked after the car, and benefited from that. So it'd be great to talk to the top 3, see what their stories of the race are, if they ever finished.
If they come in friction.
Out the rubber.
Yeah, Dylan O'Shea's parked up. No, he's still going. Benny has. I know Benny likes to quickly get himself, I think, a drink and then comes in. But Reese also ripping a big skid there. We'll wait for him. I think I've got to set a 2-minute rule. They've got to get in here and chat. We'll keep it brief tonight, Dave. But here he is now, a race winner from round number 1. Congratulations, Benjamin Roberts, taking the win tonight. Great drive, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. That was tough work all the way. Corey's just so fast. I had to keep pushing, and I killed my front tyres, so I was a bit worried towards the end. But when he spun out, I knew I could kind of take it easy.
Mate, yeah, good pace. We saw you there. Just extend after that final safety car. You pulled out a 15.87 second lap. That's when McFarlane unfortunately dropped off the pace, and with that little mistake. Was that a deliberate, just last-minute push to try and break the backbone?
I think that was the plan on every restart and the start itself. You know, usually I'm not that great on cold tyres, but here it was a little bit different, I found. So I always tried to push sort of on the restart just to try and keep him out of draft range.
Great job, man. And Dylan, once again, great drive, man. You were there for the whole race. Started P3, finished second. Good way to kick off your championship.
Yeah, thank you. It was a bit of a boring race there. Just pretty much stayed P3 the whole time, other than that spin I had, which was a bit silly. But yeah, it was good. Unfortunate for Corey to spin out there at the last corner. But yeah, it was a good race.
And Reese, mate, P3, you've also driven well tonight, up a couple of positions. You just sat in there. You were right there, ready to pounce when something did happen. And with Corey dropping off the pace and having that little moment, it did mean you moved you up into P3 and you took it with all open arms. Well done.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky with that. Pretty hard track to pass around, and I just didn't quite have the pace of the top few boys. So yeah, I was pretty stoked with how lucky I got at the end.
Great, mate. I'll throw it to Dave. Any questions for our top 3, Dave?
So my only question for all 3, did you take tyres? Did you not take tyres?
I did. So they take too long to come up to temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, no tyres.
Yeah, I'm glad I had the right strategy with Ben not taking tyres in.
Even though my front left was on 50% at the end of a race.
50%.
Very good, right? Let's do some quick thank yous, starting with our race winner of round number 1 tonight, Benjamin Roberts.
Of course, big thanks to Machine Cult, Mini Muscle Cars, Dream Simulation, yourself, Luke, for broadcasting this, all the guys at FRG for putting this on, and everyone else who came out and raced tonight and gave it up for me.
Great drive, mate. P2 tonight was Dylan O'Shea. Who would you like to thank, Dylan?
I'd just like to thank FRG for putting the race on. It's good to be back in this F3. You boys at Race Stars TV for putting the broadcast on, and then the team sponsors, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoist, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and MP Designs.
Great drive, mate. And then Reese finally driving there in P3. Congratulations. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, very similar. Just thank everyone at FRG for running the league again. It's always a great one. And yourself and everyone at Race Stars. Do a great job with the broadcast. And yeah, thank all the boys at DPR and the sponsors, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, and Neil Pearson Designs.
Fantastic. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without Dave Roberts in the box with me tonight helping, and Rue Koister has come across from Race Control. Rue, big first event, mate. It's good to have it in the bag and out of the way. What was the feeling from Race Control, and how happy are you with tonight's proceedings?
Quite happy, actually. This is normally the first race is usually a bit, how you going? There's a lot of problems, but everyone's just the quality just keeps getting better and better every season. So we're well happy with the racing tonight.
Fantastic, mate. It's great to have the sponsors back on board. We've been plugging them. Big thanks to Racekraft once again. Go and check out Johnny's rigs over there in the West, mate. They can ship them all over the world and all over Australia. Some of the best sim rigs you'll ever see. So Racecraft Simulations, go look them up. And great to see, of course, Shots back on board. Lovely stickers. And VRS giving away that fantastic $99 package with tonight's code word AUTOBAHN. So I expect you all to go and log on and quickly fill that out and get yourselves in the running for that package. So yeah, great to have sponsors back again this season, Rue.
Yeah, absolutely. And VRS, it takes you 2 seconds to get in there and get into the draw. So get on board with that. Shots, awesome. We actually do have a prize for the winner of this series that's to be announced. It should be pretty good because Shots have got some pretty cool stuff. So they're just working out the best prize to give to everyone. And lovely stickers, making everything look awesome. And Racecraft, I mean, come on. Yeah, come on. They've got a video coming up, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again. Big thanks to Dave Roberts. Mate, any last words before we wrap it up for tonight? Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you at Brands Hatch next week.
Brands Hatch, that'll be a ripper. And we're running, obviously, the full configuration, Rue.
Absolutely, full configuration, all the fog, everything that England has to bring to us. So, Brands Hatch,
not quite. There's no rain.
Yeah.
No rain. Just that rain that sits in the air and doesn't really fall.
Hashtag coming soon. Coming
soon. So, with the quality of the racing we're getting at the moment, Brands Hatch will be awesome.
Awesome, right. Well, thanks. It's been a pleasure always to have you back on Race Stars TV for season 12 of FRG's F3A Racecraft's Euro Series. I got it right. Thanks, boys. We'll see you next week.
And you're all welcome to come and join. It's not a closed series, so come and join us next week. More the merrier.
That's it. Qualifying. When does qualifying kick off for next round, Rue, for silver?
That'd be Sunday at 8 p.m. AEDT.
There you go. Get on it, folks. We'll see you next week. Good night.
See you, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining me. This has been Race Stars TV producing the F3A series. Catch you next time.